Hello world, and welcome to the Vine Society. My name is Aaron, I'm a certified sommelier, and this is Wine 101, where I walk you through the basics of wine, beer, and spirits. You'll learn everything you wanted to know and a few things you didn't know you wanted to know in these courses. So come on with us. What we're going to talk about today is where does wine come from? We're going to discuss the sweet zone. I'm going to give you a brief history of it. I'm going to talk about Old World versus New World wines and the three different types of climates for growing wine. Then we'll have a little quiz. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Wine grows in what I call the sweet zone, between 30 and 50 degrees latitude in the northern hemisphere and 30 and 50 degrees latitude in the southern hemisphere. In that region, it's the perfect growing conditions for wine. Outside of it, it's either too hot or too cold. So that's sort of where you'll find all wine production. A little brief history of wine. The first evidence of wine production happens in what is known as the Caucasus regions, around what is now Georgia, Iran, Greece, Armenia, that kind of area. Around 6,000 to 4,000 BC is where wine originated, basically, grape wine as we know it. The Romans, of course, adopted many aspects of Greek culture, and they took it all over Italy and then spread it as their empire expanded over into Spain and Portugal, up into France and Germany and Austria. Later on, the French began to dominate the wine trade. They began to sell to the English, who just loved their wine. They called it claret. And from 1100 to about 1844, they were pretty much the dominant exporters of wine. Then their vines were all destroyed by phylloxera, which is a little mite, and they had to turn to United States vines, which were immune to the mite. However, that's a different story. Finally, I'll tell you about the Judgment of Paris. This happened in 1976, and it is when California beat France in a blind tasting of wine. It had never been done before. The wine world was shocked, and California burst onto the scene, Napa Valley, Sonoma, and all of those wines that we know today. Now, you heard me use the term Old World and New World. What does that mean? Old World wines are wines that come from those regions around the northern Mediterranean that we know of as Old World wines. Italy, France, Spain, among the main ones, Germany, Austria, Portugal, Greece. All of those would be considered Old World wines, while New World wines are anything that is new to making wine. So that would include the United States, South America, Australia, South Africa. There's wine being made in Mexico, in Canada, in China. So really, it can be grown all over the world in that sweet zone. It is grown in what wine people know as three types of different wine climates. There's Mediterranean, maritime, and continental. Mediterranean climates are characterized by warm, dry summers, mild, wet winters. They have a long growing season and moderate rainfall. Maritime has hot and dry summers with cool, wet winters. They've got a lot of sunshine hours and just moderate rainfall. Continental, hot, dry summers, cold, wet winters. They have a long, sunny growing season and a low annual rainfall. So that's it for where wine comes from. Let's take a little quiz. What is the sweet zone for growing wine grapes? Between 30 degrees and 50 degrees in the northern and southern hemispheres. What is the Judgment of Paris? A contest in 1976 when California beat France in a blind tasting. Name 3 Old World countries that make wine. There are many, but the ones you should probably know are France, Spain, and Italy. Name 3 New World countries that make wine. Once again, there are many choices, but you should probably know United States, South America, Australia. And finally, what are the 3 different climate types we refer to when we're speaking about wine: continental, Mediterranean, and maritime. So, thank you for joining us here at the Vine Society for our second installment of Wine 101, and we hope to see you again. In the meantime, sip, savor, and enjoy wine. It's the stuff of life.